I know this should be mind-expanding and all, but it's just confusing. I mean, if it's all programmed, how does it work?
Prior to being born, you program your gifts into your DNA. These are gifts you've earned or developed in previous games. You also program your challenges and the people you want to play with during the course of your life. Some people will be your challengers and others will be your supporters. But usually you are playing with people you've played with before in previous games, or what you might think of as previous lifetimes. And that's why you sometimes feel you already know someone you've just met, for better or worse. You program everything you want to experience, even a few exit points where you can die out of the game if it just gets to be too much. Another reason you may feel you recognize or remember someone you've never met is because your PFI, Personal Frequency ID, remains the same through every game, whether you are male or female, a child or an adult. So even though your conscious memory is wiped clean, much like reformatting a computer hard drive, all frequencies of every player remain unique. But you can only identify each other through an intuitive sense or feeling. There will be no logical reason for what you feel.
But without a computer, where does the program exist? You say thoughtfully.
Your human body isn't just your avatar. It's a living biocomputer. The program runs very much like a binary code that turns on and off. But rather than a computer that's plugged into electricity, your biocomputer is plugged into your feelings.
But if this is a virtual reality and my body is my avatar, then are you saying that I'm not real? You say, reaching up to tap both of your shoulders with your fingertips.
I'm saying,
says Asha slowly,
that you are not your body. If you were your body, every time you cut your hair or trimmed your fingernails, a part of you would be lost.
Deep in thought, Matthew suddenly holds up his hand like a god at a crosswalk. Wait a second, he says firmly. You're right, none of this makes sense. And in a strange way, it's the only thing that does make sense. But the idea that this is a virtual reality game is a little too perfect. It explains away every conceivable anomaly because anything and everything is possible.
Asha nods her head. Well, that's how the truth works. In your world, every scientific theory gives way to new theories. Theories you believe today will all change in time. Truth is simple and unchanging. Anything that explains away every conceivable anomaly is the nature of truth.
I still don't understand the part about your feelings and the binary code, says Matthew, somewhat perplexed.
Well, it's a little more complex than you might imagine because it's an interactive program. But in the simplest terms, think of it this way. Instead of ones and zeros turning the computer program on or off, your feelings are your navigation system. On corresponds with positive emotion. Off corresponds with what you might call negative emotion or fear. Think of it like the feeling of yes or no, or the feeling that you are safe or unsafe. If you think back to your hike, there was most likely a moment when you felt unsafe, a niggling feeling that you should head back, but you talked yourself out of it.
You immediately know what Asha means as you think back to the exact moment on the trail when you started feeling unsafe. It was just the smallest hint of a feeling, and it didn't make sense at the time. If you had been alone, you might have acted on the feeling, but you didn't want to say anything to Matthew since he is an experienced hiker and you are not. So, you're saying that when the binary code is switching on or off, you feel safe or unsafe, says Matthew deliberately. And if you don't act on that feeling of being unsafe, it just gets stronger and stronger until you do something about it.
That's it exactly,
says Asha, genuinely pleased.
But it can also happen over longer periods of time. Days, weeks, even years. It just depends how important it is for you to respond quickly, and how long it takes for you to get the message and take action. Of course, sometimes there's no warning at all, not even a whisper. And when there's no warning, no feeling that you're unsafe, that's because the event is an important part of what you have programmed for your lifetime experience.
You shake your head. How can any of this possibly be true? What is this child playing at? She's so convincing. Maybe she's a pathological liar. Even if this is all true, you say, there are a lot of people looking for us right now, and we really don't have time to talk about it. We need to let someone know we're all right. Asha is quiet. You look at her skeptically and say, that is, of course, unless we really are dead.
You're not dead,
says Asha firmly.
You both programmed everything you're experiencing now before you were born. This is just an opportunity to learn how to navigate the game at a more advanced level.
Well, I find it hard to believe that I would program myself to be here, wherever here is, and that I'd want to learn about some unbelievable game that no one else has ever heard of, and no one would even believe, rather than go back to our friends. You say, shaking your head. It just doesn't make sense.
It would make sense if you knew what was coming,
says Asha knowingly. Well then, tell us what's coming, says Matthew pragmatically.
That's not for me to say,
says Asha quietly.
I'm only here to teach you how to navigate the game more effectively. It's your choice whether you stay and learn or go back to your own dimension.
You mean we can go back right now? You say hopefully. And it doesn't matter that we supposedly programmed all of this?
You have free will, Amelia. No matter what you programmed prior to your birth, the prime directive of the game is, thy will be done.
Well, then it's my will to go back, you say with conviction.
And so it is,
says Asha softly. Her body seems to shimmer for a moment, and then she disappears.